Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. Do another 5-minute review of a movie I just watched today on Netflix called Hitman, which is one I've kind of heard about, some people talking about. I haven't heard a lot about, but definitely was one I was looking on Netflix, so I was like, I want to check this out. Wasn't exactly sure what I was going to get out of it, to be honest. I haven't heard, I said, a lot of reviews or a lot of people talking about it, but the movie is directed by Richard Linklater, who's a well-known director. Directed the Before Sunset, Before Midnight trilogy. He also did Boyhood, which was probably his biggest Oscar movie. My personal favorite movie is School of Rock. I really love that movie. So he's made a lot of good stuff. And it's starring Glen Powell as the lead, as the hitman, Gary Johnson in this movie. And it's loosely based on a true story, I found out afterwards, which I thought was, and during the movie they had some pictures of the real Gary Johnson. There's a real Gary Johnson out there, which I thought was kind of interesting. I say very loosely, obviously. They just took an idea of this guy and kind of made a story out of it. Because the whole story is this guy, Gary Johnson, is kind of this somewhat regular guy. He's actually like I don't know if he's a lawyer. He teaches he's like a college teacher, teaching about law and stuff like that. And he also is kind of a bit of a nerdy guy. He likes to do stuff with technology, and he's really good with like bugging places. And so he ends up helping out with the police, local police, I guess, detectives, whatever, because he's really good at, microphone technology and all this. And so he kind of works in the van, as they go and they try to, you get a conversation out of somebody who wants to put a hit on somebody. And so they, of course, bug the restaurant, whatever that they're meeting at, and they hear the conversation, and then they can put them in jail for, putting out a hit on their whatever loved one or whatever they're trying to get killed. So he's kind of involved with that. But then the person who's kind of the main detective, that is the one that goes in and talks to the person, gets suspended. So they throw him into the spot, and he has to go meet with these people that want to put a hit out. He has to pretend like he's a hitman. Basically, the whole thing is he has to pretend like he's a hitman, and so he puts on this persona that and it turns out he's really good at it. And so they keep using him, even though he's not a police officer or anything, or doesn't have any training in that area. But he's so good at acting as this character, and so throughout the movie, we see him meeting with different people, getting their, they give him money, and he makes sure to get them talking about who he wants to be killed, so then they can, put him in jail, whatever. And so we see a lot of instances, and he puts on different wigs and disguises, and so it's a very, Glen Powell is doing different, characters throughout the movie. So it's really showing off Glen Powell's acting skills, I think, which was really cool. But then he falls in love with a girl named, played by Adria Arjona, who's trying to put a hit out, but he talks her out of it because he kind of likes her. And then he starts dating her, but she doesn't know that he's not really a hitman. So you can obviously see where this is going to go. We also have Austin Emilio in here, Retta and Sanjay Rayo, some of the main actors that are in this movie. But yeah, it's basically a comedy. It gets in some very comedic kind of situations through, and a lot of comedic type characters throughout. But he gets into this tangled web of deception and how is he gonna, and now they're kind of basically they're investigating her, and he's being of course very unprofessional. I mean, he shouldn't be dating somebody who's putting out a hit on somebody. Not a good idea overall. But he really likes her, so he has to lie to the police and try to keep her, from getting in trouble, and trying to keep the relationship together, though he's lying to her. Obviously, she finds out, and that's a whole big deal, whatever. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a real fun movie. It's definitely a very great movie for Glen Powell. I mean, this is a star-making movie, I think, for him. He's really done really well lately, with Top Gun Maverick, Twisters lately, in this movie, just to name a few. I think he's definitely a star. He's going to be a star if he's not already. To me, he reminds me of like a Brad Pitt type guy. Really good looking, really charming, very likable. He can be very likable at times. Sometimes he can be a jerk, but really love Glen Powell in this. And I would say It's an okay movie, not great. The ending was pretty good. There's some questionable things that happen at the end, but overall, it's a happy ending, which I like. But yeah, I would say this is worth watching just to see Glen Powell, because I think he's really turned into a star with this movie. He does all kinds of stuff. He's showing his comedic skills and all that. And yeah, overall, I give it 3 out of 5 stars. Not a great movie by any chance, but still, I think one worth a check out if you have Netflix.